أعوذ بالله بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره وأعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأن محمدا عبده ورسوله وبعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, sir.
Firstly, so sorry I couldn't join. I think I'm about 5 minutes late. Software was actually trying to connect. Sorry, I'm going to mute everyone. Please, can everyone mute himself, please? Dala waɗanda suke magana su ɗan kashe mic ɗinsu saboda muna samun distraction. Okay, that's great. Inshallah, today we are going to have a continuation for our commenced class, which inshallah, I hope we are going to have a meaningful end at the end of the class. Last 2 weeks, we held an introductory aspect of the course, which we were able to look at what a computer is, the functions of the computer, and we as well look at the generation of the computer, the first generation of the computer, the second, the third, the fourth, and the fifth, in which we understood computer basically from the scratch, and we were able to have some discussion session. Meanwhile, I'm going to have a brief recap of what we did by showing the slide so that we move to our next class, which is supposed to take place tomorrow. And at this juncture, I think I'm going to start sharing my screen so that we have a continuation, inshallah. When I shared the screen last time, we had an issue which led us, a bug which led us not to be able to view the beginning part of the class. Slide 3, please. If you have any issue, let me know, please. So I think, can you all see my screen?
Yes, sir. Yes. I can see you.
Okay, that's great. That's great. Let me expand the screen. So we saw something like this last week. Okay, I think I used another slide. Let me check for the other slide. Sorry. Okay, I think let's just use this slide. It is the same, basically, in order to not waste much of time. Okay. So we looked at what a computer is. Please, are we together?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you so much. We look at what a computer is, where we define a computer as an electronic machine. It accepts data. This is one of the characteristics. And the main function of a computer is to process data, which is the main thing. Anything you are doing to computer, you are giving a computer a command. You are giving it a command so that it executes that command for you. When I'm inserting my flash into the computer, what I'm expecting from it is to display what is inside that flash or what is in that memory card. When I send a video to the computer, what I'm expecting from it is for it to display that video, or to allow me to edit that video. Whenever I send a book to a computer, my expectation is that computer to what is to display that book in order to bring it out to me as an output. So the main function of a computer is what is to process the data. Someone is talking at the background. I don't want to mute everyone so that some people who want to say one or two things. Da Allah wanda yake magana ya mutin wani Zoom din shi, yana maganarsa na shiga cikin karatu. So that is that, and the function of a computer is being aided by what you know as programs, which you define what are programs are information. So this is a typical diagram that explains what a computer is. So this is, you can see from this point, this is the output, this is the, let me display my pointer so that you're able to see it. All right, so this is your raw data, what you have, you put it into the computer processes it, and it brings it out as an output. And that output is known as an information. And you are the user. Look at you here. So this is what you expect the computer to do, is to process and give you output. So we explain what are data. We say data are raw facts, things that are not processed. It could be character, it could be number, it could be audio, it could be video, and so on. What are programs? We say programs are set of instructions that instruct the computer what to do. And last week we explained what a programmer, what is a program as well. Then we look at what an information is, and we say that the information is the raw fact that is being processed, that is being given out to you. Then we now look at what we know as characteristics of a computer. We say computer, in terms of speed, computer is very, very speedy than human. We look at accuracy. Computer is very, very rare for a computer to have an error. It always gives a correct answer. It gives a very excellent output. Then we said computer has a huge storage. It's able to execute huge storage. It has huge storage. It can store more than a terabyte of information, many as you can have, as we also explain what we know as the data center and the difference and the function which they carry out. We also look at networking capability. You can marry one computer to the another. You can connect your phone to your computer, and as well, you can connect thousands of a computer to share the same resources. And we say versatility. Computer is able to carry out different functions at the same time. You can be playing game and at the same time listening to audio, listening to Quran, or listening to any other news, and at the same time you are working on a design as well. So it's versatile, and it carries out different function at the same time. It's programmable. Computer, you can program it to do one or two things. Yes, you can change the brain of the computer. You can tell the computer what to do. You can write a program that will allow you to calculate. You can write a program that will allow you to that will allow you to know the weather, to forecast the weather, and so on. So sorry, I'm just having this recap for the people that just joined, so that after they watch the previous video, they can as well get in. Then we look at the history of the computer, the abacus as the first generation, who founded, that was where the idea started, from the abacus innovation, which I sent the image of the abacus computer to our group. We as well looked at the first generation of a computer. We said they use vacuum tubes. These are the vacuum tubes. So we also look at how the vacuum tubes looks like physically. You can see it and the component inside. We said the second generation of a computer, they use transistors. These are transistors. The fourth computer, this is how we were able to understood how it works. Then we look at the third generation of the computer. We say the third generation of computer, it uses integrated circuits. These are integrated circuits. It uses it at least as its processor, its main processor. That is the engine. This is what directs the engine what to do, how to do, and so on. So while the fourth generation of the computer, which is the type of computer we are using, almost all of us, these are the type of microprocessors they use on their motherboard. Then lastly, we are in the fifth generation of a computer. This fifth generation of computer is where we make use of the artificial intelligence in order, which is combined with the machine learning and so on. And one of the importance of the products of the artificial intelligence is the robots we are having today. We have smart machines. We have robots who can actually do like how human being works. We have different functions which we explained last week. And we're able to look at the classification of a computer. We said computer can be classified basically into three. You can classify computer based on purpose. You can classify computer based on the capacity or the size. You can as well classify computer based on the nature of the computer. Based on that, again, someone's mic is on. Please kindly off your mic, please. So we also have what we known as we said based on size or capacity, computer could be classified into what we know as the supercomputers. We have what we know as mainframe computers, which we explained. We also have what we know as the mini computer, and as well it is classified into. We also have what we know as the portable or mobile computers, and we also have what you know as the desktop computers. Based on the size, now based on the size. Now based on the type again, we also have what we know as the analog computer and the digital computer, and as well explain what we know as the hybrid computers. The hybrid computers are those that can function as both analog and digital. So I think this is where we stopped last week, and we are going to have a continuation today of where we stopped. So I think basically this was what we covered in our first session, which inshallah we are going to continue from where we stopped. I believe everyone was able to have a recap of what we had last week. Oh, sorry, last week, which we were lectured, we couldn't hold our class last week. Ina fatan kowa ya gane gaba ɗaya bayanan da muka yi ko kafin mu je gaba. Ban sani ba idan akwai mai tambaya based on the recap or wani wanda yake ajin da yake baya yin akwai abin da ya kamata ya sani bai sani ba, please you can chip in. I don't know if anyone has a question before we kick into this class. You can unmute your mic if you want to ask a question. It's like someone wants to talk. Okay. I think in the absence of anyone, maybe we are going to continue to our next class. Let me try opening the next class, inshallah, so that we continue. So we are going to in this module that we are going to be checking today, we are going to be looking at hardware, software, and system units. Hardware, software. Okay, before we move to hardware, software units, it's very important to even know what are they and so on, which we are coming to see that. So, sorry, I'm trying to open the module. Okay, I'm going to share my screen right now. So we look at module 2. We are done with module 1. So please, can we all see my module 2? I want to ensure everyone is together. Can we see module 2 on the screen?
Yes, sir. Yes, I can see it over here.
That's great. So in this module, we are going to be seeing what are hardwares, what are softwares, what are system units. So let's begin the discussion. We've been hearing hardware, software, and I believe almost everyone in his primary, secondary school, or so on has an idea of what we know as hardware or software. So in this module, we are going to be discussing on component of computer system, and as well, which one we know as hardware, the second one software, and the third one known as the system unit. Firstly, under the hardware, we are going to be looking at the input and output units, the control unit, the arithmetic logic unit, and storage unit. While under the software, we are going to be seeing the system software and application software as a subdivision of these divisions, which we are going to be taking. Then we look at the system units. Okay, this is the diagram that is going to aid us in understanding this concept. The diagram here, let me use my pointer so that okay. So this is, believe you can see my pointer. This is the components of a computer as the topic or the module we are discussing. Basically, when we say components, it's when linguistically, or when we talk on component, it simply refers to what are those things that makes up another thing, or what are those things that makes up that thing you're discussing about. So computer basically is made up of simply software and hardware. These two things are what made up a computer. Either the engineers, either the software developers, or anyone who is into the world of computer is either dealing with a software or is dealing with the hardware. When we say a software, a computer could be built with the combination of both the software and the hardware. The softwares, they are the things, or they are the programs we cannot touch from the previous knowledge we have on what is software. For example, the Zoom we are using in holding this class, you can't touch the Zoom. It is a program that is programmed for the computer in order to carry out a specific task. One of the tasks of the Zoom is to enable a video meeting. So this Zoom we are using is a software. The applications you are using on your phone, they are software. For example, some of us are using Facebook, some of us are using the message application, the call application, which you use in making your call, and so on. And for those using computer as well, they use Microsoft Office Suite, while those that are using phones, maybe they use the WPS, the PDF editor, and so on, or the PDF reader. So these are softwares. So these softwares cannot work on their own except with the aid of what? The hardware. The hardware, they are the physical components of the computer. For example, the keyboard. For example, the screen of your computer, you can touch it, you can see it. For example, the keypad of your handset, it is a hardware. The what should I say? The motherboard, which we are coming to see that as a whole, is also a hardware. It's also a component that embeds many hardware. For example, the RAM, the hard disk, the other components which you are going to see. So these are basically what you mean by hardware and software. Hardware are those components that you can see, like the tools that build up the computer, while the software, they are the programs that makes the computer to be functional. So when we talk on hardware, hardware is actually divided into two as well. We have what you know as the central processing device and the peripheral devices. When you say something is the central, that is, it is the main thing that allows the computer to work. Why peripheral? There are other devices that makes the computer to work. What are the central processing devices? This is what you know as as I discussed last week, which is known as the CPU. Okay, the CPU, we all know the CPU that is used for the desktop, that big engine that gives the computer or the desktop that allows the desktop to preview or view whatever it is demanded to. So while the peripheral devices, there are all other devices that can work, that the central processor or the computer can work even without them. What are examples of the peripheral devices? Example of the peripheral devices, as I said, are the devices that can stand alone, or that can, peripheral devices are devices that can be used or unused for the computer operation. Even when without them, the computer can also work. Or for example, the keyboard, I can decide to remove the keyboard of my computer and my computer will continue working. I can decide to remove the screen of my computer and my computer will continue working because the engine is there. I can decide to remove the mouse of my computer and the computer will still on. It will have all its function, only that the mouse is the one that's not going to work. For example, the speaker, I can detach the speaker of my computer and the computer will still work because what? Because those are peripheral devices. But there is what's known as the central processing unit, which combines the components that are on the motherboard. Anything you remove, for example, when you remove the microprocessor on your motherboard, the computer cannot work because what? It forms what you know as the central processing unit. Please, do we understand the basic definition of this and what actually the central and the peripheral devices are under the hardware? We are coming to see the examples. This is just a chart that is going to aid you. Please, do we all understood? And someone can unmute so that I believe everyone is we're together.
Yes, sir. We understood.
All right, that's great. So we also have what you know as the software, which I said the software is classified, is subdivided into three. We have what we know as the system management software, and we also have what's known as the system support software, and also known as what we know as the application software. The system management software, they are the software that the computer cannot work without them. For example, I believe not everyone has a computer. Maybe some of us are having a phone. The number one thing is when you on your computer or when you on your phone, it shows Android or it shows Apple for those that are using Mac OS. That basic information is first shown. It's a software that was designed for that anytime you on your phone, it should show Android or Android 10, or it should show maybe Techno, it should show maybe iPhone or so on. So that program that makes that your handset to show that thing, it is one of the program. It is known as is an example of the system management software. Immediately when you buy a new phone or when you purchase a new computer, you are going to see that there is a place for you to make a settings of your computer. So what was that? Who was the person, or what application or software makes the computer to have that thing or that settings? It is the work of the system management software. This system management software, it is one that allows you to impute other applications. Without the main software, that is the main application of the computer, which is the Android OS, the operating system. For example, we are coming to see what is operating system. There is no how you can install some other applications. So it is another application that allows you to install other applications. So the main system application or software, when you are talking on computer, we are talking on software, but more likely when you are talking on when we are talking on handset, for example, the other portable device, you're talking on applications. So the software, when I say software, for those who are not very good in computer, what I mean is actually application. But when I say application, I will be using them interchangeably. But when we move advanced, we are going to understand that computer, when you're talking on computer, you're talking on softwares. So these main softwares of the computer that allows other programmed softwares to be installed. Sorry, the system management software, they are the software that allows other applications or that allow other softwares to be installed. So while the system support software, they are just like the mechanics of the computer or the phone. For example, if your phone or your computer doesn't reduces the brightness and everything is working, they are going to install something known as the drivers into your computer or into your phone, so that that drivers is going to solve that basic problem that's supposed to come along with either the application software or that's supposed to come along with the system software, or that's supposed to be provided by the hardware. So the system support software, they are those softwares that support your computer or your hands or your phones. Let me, since our phones are also computer, in order to carry out a specific task that is missing or that is needed as well, which has to do with functionality. Basically, the word functionality that provides a functionality to your computer. So we also have what you know as the application software. When we talk on the application software, as I said, there are these softwares that we easily download or we make use time to time on our computer based on a specific need. For example, we have the Microsoft Word, we have the Facebook, we have the many other softwares. These are softwares that, as I said, that can work even without you installing them on the computer. The computer can also work, or your handset can also work. I believe we've had, if someone is talking on the background, please, you can unmute yourself. The person saying, "Wa alaikum salam," please unmute yourself. Please mute yourself, I mean. So these are basic things we need to understand. Nafi Salihu, please mute yourself. Thank you. Okay, so this is basic thing we ought to understand before we move further. So now, what are computer hardwares? Computer hardware refers to the physical part of the computer, of a computer, such as the monitor, the mouse, the keyboard, computer data storage, the hard drives, the HDD, we know, the system unit, which is the graphic card, sound card, memory, motherboard, and chips, which we say we are coming to see the system unit, and others. All of these are the physical objects that can be touched. As you can see, this is a diagram that explains what are the hardware components of the computer. You can see number one is the speaker, which is labeled 1 here. This speaker is what is a hardware. The modem, which is 2, which is, where is the number 2? We have the 2 here. This is the modem. The function of the modem is to provide internet accessibility to the computer. We also have what you know as the microphone. This is the microphone, that is the 3rd one, which you can see the sub-labeling here. It allows you to send a voice message into the computer. The CPU, this is the CPU here, which is number 5. The CPU is here. Then we also have what's known as the keyboard, the number 6 here. We also have what's known as the mouse. This is the mouse, which is number 7. It allows you to scroll into the computer. We also have what's known as the CD-ROM. This is the CD-ROM here, the CD-ROM number 8. It allows you to input CD into the computer, or DVD, or any other disk or diskette. Then we also have what you know as the number 9, the diskette drive. It also is smaller. It's smaller than the CD-ROM. It's also imputed into the computer. We also have what you know as a printer. This is a printer. It allows you to print out documents in paper form. We also have what you know as the port. The port, which is number 12, the port is behind this CPU. It allows you to connect either the CPU, the mouse, and any other external device into the computer. We also have what's known as the monitor. This is the monitor. The monitor here, it allows you to display what is inside the CPU. We also have what you know as the expansion board. The expansion board, they are these ones that looks like the RAM. We are coming to see their functions. I think we are having less than 6 minutes to go. Okay, let's go to the next thing. We said hardware components. We grouped hardware components as well into the hardware components can also be divided into 4. You have to take note of these divisions. When you understand these divisions, there are those things that are going to help you to directly know what, whenever a computer is being discussed or whenever an example is being given in the course of your other programs, you will not have to be asking what is this, what is that, and we are going to see the functions as well. So the input unit, we also have the output unit, the processing system unit, and also storage unit. All the hardwares, they are divided into these 4. It's either that hardware is an input unit, or is an input device, is either an output device, or it is a processing unit, or it is a storage unit. Any other hardware is classified under this. So we also, let's look at the input devices. The input devices is any peripheral. I've explained what a peripheral. I said they are those, they are piece of computer hardware equipment or equipment that the computer can work even with their absence. We said, so these input devices, they are those peripheral devices that provide data and control signals to an information processing system, such as the computer or other information appliances. Input devices translate data. When we say data, please, you can refer to our last class. When it translates the data you give to the computer from form that human understood to one that the computer can work with. Normally, the computer doesn't know what you put into your flash or your memory card, or what you put into that memory card. So whenever it is being put into the computer, it is being imputed into the computer through what you know as the input unit, or it is regarded as an input device. So the importance of that is for you to send the computer a data so that it's going to understand what that data is. Then with the help of the computer, you can able to process that data, and what the computer gives you as a result is what you know as the output. So most common are the keyboard and the mouse, which are the most ones that are known. The keyboard and the mouse, they are also peripheral devices. So these are examples of manual input devices. We have what's known as the keyboard, we have the numeric keypad, we have the pointing devices, we also have the remote key control, we have what's known as the joystick, we also have what's known as the touch screen, the scanner, the graphic tablet, the microphone, the digital cameras, the webcam, and the light pen. So at this juncture, I'm going to give a task to everyone to get us the function of each of these input devices. So I'm not going to explain more about it. So at our next class, which is supposed to take place, we are going to discuss at the end of the class. If possible, we should have another class in the night in order to cover up the class we did not hold yesterday. So we are expected to browse or go and we are going to have interactive section so that you tell me what are the functions of these input devices. So when you come back to the next class, we are going to see the function of the keyboard and other. Okay, well, okay, no problem. Since we already have them in the handout, we are going to explain it. Those that we don't have, so we are going to as well give them as a reading task or as an assignment. So actually, these are This is the computer component, which we've seen the input, we've seen the software and hardware, and we've also seen the classification of the hardware. We see the classification as peripheral devices, and as well, we also have what we know as the central processing device, while we also classified the software into system management software. We also have what's known as the system support software, and we also have what's known as application software. So inshallah, at this juncture, we are going to have a stop. So I'm going to resend the link into our group so that we join to have a conclusive part of the class. Inshallah, at this juncture, we are going to have a stop. So see you in the next class. Within some 3 to 5 minutes, the next link is going to be accessible. So I'm going to join so and as well allow you people to join in. Thank you for your participation and your attendance. See you in the next class. Assalamu alaikum.